All right, so first one said, use the synthetic division algorithm to divide f of x by x minus 2. First thing that you got to do is you got to do x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. So you're dividing 2 into 3x to the 5th minus 4x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 1x squared plus 5x minus 3. All of them are represented, so we drop it like it's hot. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Excuse me. So you get 3x to the 4th power, because we take that degree and we drop it by 1, plus 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 27 plus 51 over x minus 2. Yes? Okay. Evaluate then f of x, and it goes the same thing when x equals 2. So I want f of 2 to be 3 times 2 to the 5th power minus 4 times 2 to the 4th power plus 2 times 2 cubed minus 2 squared plus 5 times 2 minus 3. All right, so 2 to the 5th power is 32. 32 times 3 is, sure. Whoa. Whoa, funkiness. Smartboard issues. Okay, back up there. And we're that's where we were. Okay. All right. No idea what was going on there, but sometimes it happens. Okay, so that's 96 there. Then 2 to the 4th power is 16 times 4 is 64, so that's minus 64. 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16. 2 squared is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. Minus 3 is minus 3. 96 minus 64 is 32. Plus 16 is 48. Minus 4 is 44. Plus 10 is 54. Minus 3 is 51. So f of 2 here is equal to 51. Question number 3 says, what do you notice about the remainder that resulted from synthetic division in question number 1 and the value of f of 2 in question number 2? What did you notice? You scroll up again. The remainder was right here. The value of is right there. What do you notice about them? They're the same. Do you think that's a coincidence? What you got, Joe?
Probably not because they're the same problem.
But they're not the same problem. They're the same function. Okay. And 2 or x minus 2 has a factor, or as a factor would have a quote unquote potential 0 at 2. Okay. So they're roughly the same, but things are a little different. Okay. Here in the first one, you actually get a polynomial as an answer. Here you get a number as an answer, which is the value of the function. Okay. What this is, though, or what we just did, is we just did synthetic substitution. Synthetic substitution is an application of synthetic division. Basically you set up synthetic division on it, except you're using, instead of finding a factor and then a zero, you're given a value of that. Okay? So if I wanted to synthetically substitute 3 into this function, I would set it up very much the same. I would take 3 and I would put it on the outside. Then on the inside, I'm going to put in the coefficients. The coefficients are 4x cubed plus 2x squared minus 1x plus 5. Then do that synthetic division. 4 multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So if I were dividing it, it would be 4x squared plus 14x plus 41 plus 128 over x minus 3. But if I'm using synthetic substitution, all I have to say is f of 3 is equal to 128. So we got to look at that word that comes after synthetic to tell you what you want for that answer. If it's division, then you've got to write out the polynomial. If it's substitution, then you give me the number. Okay? Just do a quick little check and a quick and a thing and a quick. 4 times 3 cubed is going to be like 4 times 27, which is 8, carry the 2, 108, plus 2 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 18, so that's 2 times 18, so that's 36. Minus 3 plus 5. 108 plus 1 or plus 36 is 140. Excuse me. Something's wrong there. What did I do wrong? 18. Oh, I went 2 times 18. This should have been 2 times 9. That's where I screwed up. This should have been 2 times 9, which made this be 18. One too many multiplied by 2's. 108 plus 18 is now 126. Minus 3 is 123. Plus 5 is 128. We do old school substitution. Okay? So it works out either way. Okay? You try this one now. One x cubed minus 9x squared plus 8x plus 60. Got to make sure we have all of our placeholders still involved. 1, negative 4 gets me negative 13. Positive 52 gets me 60. Negative 240 gets me negative 180. So if I were dividing this problem, it would be x squared minus 13x plus 60 plus negative 180 over x plus 4. If I am substituting, if I'm using synthetic substitution, g of negative 4 then is negative 180. Okay. Quick check. Negative 4 cubed is negative 64. minus 9 times negative 4 squared is going to be minus 144, plus 8 times negative 4 is minus 32, plus 60 is negative 208 for negative 64 minus that. Minus 32 is negative 240, plus 60 is negative 180. So it checks out. Okay. Describe the relationship between the substituting values into the function and synthetic division. Okay. Well, if you think about it, if we have a function, right? So we have some function somewhere, looks like that. I'm just making something up here. Any point along that function is going to have a value. The function is going to give out a value. It just so happens that in this particular case, the value that the function gives out is what? 0. So we call it a 0 or a solution or a root or an answer, right? We got one of those 4. And then that would give us a factor, and then that we could get from the factor, then we could get back to our function, and so on and so forth. Okay? All right? But if I'm not at those points, okay, if I'm somewhere over here, it's going to give me something else, some other value. Okay? Now, if you think about it, when you synthetically divide a 0, a solution, a root, an answer into the function, what's that end result give you? If you were, so like here, back here, if negative 4 was a 0, what would I get right there? I'd get 0 instead of negative 180, right? So I'm still getting out the value of the function even though it's 0. Okay? So that is, somehow you can put that into your own words and you can describe the relationship between substituting values into functions and synthetic division. Okay? One of them also gives you a polynomial. The other one gives you a number. Okay? Now, at the bottom of that page, there are 2 functions. They're different. And then there's 4 values. One of the things that you're going to have to start doing is you're going to have to start looking at which function you need to be plugging that number into. Okay? So I would like you to do these 4 right now. Into F. So that's 4, 2, negative 1, and 5. So that is 4, 24, 26, 6 is 156, is 155, 6 is 930, 935, so I get 935 for number 1. Yes? So that's 4 and 2 and negative 1 and 5. So that is 4, negative 16, negative 14, 6, negative positive 56, positive 55, negative 220, negative 215. For f of negative 4? Yes? Yes? 1, negative 9, 8, and 60. G of 3 then is 1, 3, negative 6, negative 18, negative 10, negative 30, 30 I get for 3. G of 3 is 30. Yes? Minus negative 54, negative 30. Yep. One, negative 5, negative 14, 70, 78, 390, negative 330. Yes? Remember, the directions just said synthetically substitute. When I was walking around, I saw a lot of people synthetically dividing. Okay? If the directions only say substitute, then I'm just looking for the value of that function at that particular point. So that's the very last number in the synthetic division. Okay? If it would have said synthetically divide, it would have had 1 given you a factor that you were dividing in. Okay? Alright? You got a goldenrod sheet today at the beginning of class 2. That sheet is 2-sided. Okay? There's 2 sides to that sheet. Make sure that you follow the directions because the directions are different front side to back side, just so you know. And that sheet is due tomorrow. Okay?